and just anything you want to say is cool too. If you don't know, this is Barclay, Stockett. I'm Drechsel, and this is only for my Patreons. You can say hi to my Patreons.
Oh, hey, Patreons.
Yeah, they're pretty much there. They get a lot of insight. They ask me questions. They're pretty much like the super fans.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really cool. Like I look at them as like super fans. So I'm gonna just start out really quick, something very easy, and it's something that I get asked a lot, and I'm curious if you do as well. What is your favorite obstacle?
I have such a hard time answering that one. But just like you.
Why is that? Because there's just so many that are just fun to do?
Yeah, I think I'd go with what's most exciting to me then. And that would be like the double dipper.
That is huge. That was a lot of fun. You're falling, and then you're sliding, and then you're flying, and then you're falling again.
Yes. So like the double dipper, and I love salmon ladder, but it needs to be something special about salmon ladder, like a really high salmon ladder.
So not just a normal up 4 rungs cross sort of salmon ladder.
No, so like the super salmon ladder.
Yeah.
I love that one.
You can go up 40 rungs. Oh man.
Yeah.
I hope I get to do that. I'm hoping that I get to do that because my shoulders are still a little jacked up from the wing nuts from last year, so I'm hoping to do something a little less aggressive.
Yeah.
What is your least favorite obstacle?
The log runner.
The log.
From OKC season 8. If you guys don't know, I actually competed in season 8, but they didn't air me. I fell in the logs, which not a single female got past the logs.
Really?
And that was the third obstacle in Oklahoma City. And they were just so far apart. Like I heard they were 85% of Casey's body length apart.
Those are the ones that kind of go up.
Yeah.
Right? So they kind of spin too, do they spin?
They spin a ton.
So they spin and they're also increasing up and they're just logs. You're running across.
So they were over 4 feet, like around 4 feet apart from each other. And they went kind of like here, and then there'd be like a little drop, and then higher.
Oh, that's so silly.
Not a single female got past it. They didn't air me, and so that one. And then I also really don't like the tuning forks.
Oh, the tuning forks. I wonder why.
I don't know.
Well, I hope you get a chance to get your revenge in finals because you are moving on to finals, which is really cool. I mean, we know what happens in finals, but we can't tell them. So I hope you get your revenge in tuning forks.
Thank you.
Let's move on. This is from Leslie asks, how do you both always stay so positive? So I guess that's for me too. I don't know. I like having fun with everything I do. It's pretty simple.
It's awesome. I think like a big part of it is like knowing who you are and knowing what you're capable of and just fighting for that.
Right. No, I totally get that because I know what I can do, and even if I were to fall on something I know I can do, I think I have a better outlook of like, man, oh, I knew I could have done it, so I feel better about it. But if I fall on something that I've never had a chance to try or play on, I feel like that eats me more because it's like, I don't know. Like, what happened? What went wrong? What did I do? And it eats me up.
I'm kind of the opposite. If I fall on something I know I should have been able to do, I can do, and it was just a mistake, I get really upset at myself.
Yeah. I feel like most people do. Because they're like, oh, I should have done it. But you gotta have a healthy respect for every obstacle. Doesn't matter who you are. Every obstacle can take out anybody at any time. You gotta remember that.
Yeah. But I mean, like sometimes you can't, like you aren't always positive, even if you're like typically a positive person. Like you can still have times when you are negative, but it's like sometimes it's okay to feel that for just a moment, but then you want to like get over it and get back up.
Yeah, you definitely, there are going to be times, and that was me in season 8 after I fell on stage 3. Like, I was really, really bummed out. I know I made it the furthest that season. I did really well. It was my best season yet, but I was bummed out knowing that I could have done a lot more. But at the same time, it's like I had such a great moment. I got to experience the course and be out there, and not many people get a chance to do that.
Yeah, so being grateful.
All right, so let's say today is a cheat day for you. Cheat meal. Where are we going? What's for dinner? Or breakfast?
I want lasagna.
That's a cheat meal for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lasagna and breadsticks.
Okay.
Like garlic.
All right.
Like
so it sounds like we're going to Olive Garden.
Yeah, or like there's a place in Texas that I love in Houston. It's called Italiano's. And they have the best like butter garlic bread like knots I've ever had.
Ooh, I haven't had good garlic knots since I was in like Coconut Creek down in South Florida.
Oh man.
There was this Bella Roma was the place, and so good. I actually worked there a little bit. All right, I have a question from Deb. She says, How do you both handle the pressure on you? So basically, I mean, we've been doing this a while. A lot of people expect us to do very well, and that is a lot of pressure, and it is. How do you handle that?
I'm still learning because this is only the second year where people actually know who I am, and so like it was a completely different experience getting up on the starting platform this year. As soon as I walked up, everyone was chanting my name.
Barclay, Barclay.
Exactly.
You're welcome. I started that.
Yeah. Oh.
So any pressure, you're welcome.
Well, so and I was just like, whoa, it just reminds you like people know who you are. They have an expectation. They know what your skill level is. And I try to turn that into they believe in me too. Like instead of they expect me to do well, it's they believe in me too. I believe in me, they believe in me. I just try to like use that as like wrap myself in a big hug from other people. Just they know what I'm capable of.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely get that. It's like people believe in me, and it's like, why do they believe in me? It's because I have a history. And like, oh yeah, I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
At this point, I should be good at this, or I need to find a new profession, a different career. So yeah, I've got a lot of experience, so people expect me to do well, but you have to understand that, again, I'm always gonna say it, that any obstacle could take out anybody. You can be the best. Like, I know, I'm known for flying, right? I did 20 feet on the wing nuts. What obstacle took me out in season 9? The wing nuts. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Any obstacle would take you out, and you need to have a healthy respect for the obstacle. So even though there's a bunch of pressure, you kind of got to go out there and just kind of do your own thing and do you, and try your best not to let other people down. But even year after year, every single person has fallen in the course. There's not a single person who has not gotten wet. Jeff Britton, Isaac Caldiero, both of them have completed stage 4. They both got wet. Like, everyone's always fallen, and that's part of the show.
It is.
Yeah. All right, I got a question for you. Other than ninja training, do you do any other types of training? Like, do you do rock climbing? Do you go do sprints at the track?
That's exactly what I do. Those two
Oh, is
things.
it? Is it really?
Yeah.
Nailed it!
So I rock climb to supplement my ninja training, but I also rock climb for the joy of rock climbing. So I think that's really important because then rock climbing can become kind of like tedious for me, and I'm just doing it to get stronger. But I actually really love trying to get to higher grades and like become a better climber, like using my feet better, like and stuff like that.
Bouldering, top roping, or lead climbing?
All three.
Really? I've never lead climbed, so I'm really impressed.
I love lead climbing.
It looks like a lot of fun.
I actually got to lead climb in South Korea.
Really? That sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
Indoor or outdoor? Like,
Outdoor.
were you in the gym?
In real rocks.
That sounds cool.
It was beautiful. When you get to the top, there's just like this beautiful horizon, these hills, and like.
That sounds awesome.
It looked like just golden. It was crazy.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Man, what a great time.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to skip a couple. I'll come back to them, but because of what you just said, I'm going to follow up with, you do travel a lot.
Yeah.
And so where would you say your favorite place that you've ever traveled?
I'd say South Africa.
South Africa.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Why was that so special?
I lived there for a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
I moved there to do some mission work and help out in a community that's impoverished. Basically, it was a squatter camp when it first started, and then it became like a neighborhood.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and so like all the houses are made out of like those tin. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I know. They're like wavy. They look like Pringles chips.
Yes.
But they're made of like metal, like sheet metal.
Yeah, and the whole houses are made out of that.
I feel like that would get really hot. Is it hot there?
Yeah, it gets really hot, but it's also because it's on the southernmost tip of the continent. It gets really cold too.
Okay.
There's this cold and rainy season, and then it gets really, really hot.
I feel like it'd be really hot being in the tin house.
Yeah.
During like the daytime.
Yeah. And the whole family shares one room usually.
Yikes.
So the body heat too, like that has to be.
I actually think that we might have something coming up in the future that we may be going out and helping some kids. But we can't give too much news yet, but that is something I'm really looking forward to. I'm hoping that goes through. All right, so I got a question from Matt here. He says, have you ever had a disaster date? And I think what he means, have you ever been on a date that was just a complete disaster? You're smiling, so I'm thinking that's a yes.
Yeah, I don't usually go on a lot of dates because I'm so busy.
Mm-hmm.
But the worst date I ever went on, I went on a date with this guy. We went to a movie, which, by the way, I hate going on dates to movies.
Why not? Movie sounds like a good time.
Because
as long as it's a good movie.
Well, because it's not. I don't consider that to be quality time. Like
okay,
you're not really getting to know the person next to you. Like
you're just watching a movie. You
Yeah.
can do that at home. That's what Netflix is for.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I mean, if like that's fine to do, like if you're just chilling. But I feel like if you're actually trying to get to know each other, like it's not my like thing.
Take notes, guys. If you're going on a date with a girl, bring her somewhere fun, not to a movie. It's boring.
Yeah,
Says
go
Barclay
hiking.
Stockett.
Go hiking.
Go hiking. Go explore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a better time. All right. So what made it a disaster date?
So after the movie, he was like, "Hey, I have a surprise for you," and I was like, "Okay, like cool. I love surprises." But we got in the car and he like started driving somewhere where I wasn't familiar with, and like it was night, which is fine, but he was like going towards like this area that didn't have a lot of lighting, which immediately, like for me and for any women, that's when your like alarm bells in your head should be going off.
Bunch of red flags.
Yeah,
just like
red
flags.
just
All of the
like
red flags.
this,
Like
you know?
stop. Let me out.
And so I'm definitely like I'm always very aware of my surroundings and aware of when a situation could be dangerous. And so in my head, I'm immediately aware of what direction we're driving in. I'm aware of the trees.
You're pretty much
buildings.
taking note of everything you're passing. You're just like thinking of, all right, so I've been here. If I get out this, I need to run this way.
Yes. And I was thinking about his build, his stature. Can
I
climb?
take him out?
Can I?
Oh man.
And basically he is like a football player, so he was like a big dude, and I was like, I can probably outrun him because he wasn't like a big dude that would run fast. He's like a big dude that can tackle hard.
Gotcha.
So I was like, I think I can outrun him.
So what happened?
So we get parked, and in this empty parking lot, didn't have a lot of lighting. There was probably like one little like light.
Seems really sketchy.
It's very sketchy. My heart is racing. And he gets, I open the door first so that if anything happens, I'm already on my feet.
Yeah.
And he gets out and he turns on his like speaker, like his like, and he starts playing like Michael Bublé, like slow-mo, like dancing music. And he wanted, reached out his hand to like dance with me. And I was so upset, and I just felt like all of the heat in my chest like rising. And I could tell, like, I was probably bright red, and I was like, dude, like, sit down. And I, like, sat him down and explained exactly what I thought was, like,
you have every right to be mad at that point.
Yeah.
Like, he could have said something. Now, this was your first date with the guy, right?
Yeah.
So, you really don't know him that well. You don't know what's
we
going
got
on.
to know each other a little bit, and that's why I'd go on a date with him, because I don't go on a date with perfect strangers.
Yeah, but you don't know him well enough that if you start driving sketchy areas, you're just going to put all your trust and safety into this guy.
Yeah.
That's, oh man.
So I sat him down and explained the whole situation to him, and he was shocked because in his head he was just trying to do something sweet. But
how old were you?
I think I was, it was before I went to South Africa, so I was 19.
Okay. Yeah, boys are dumb.
Yeah.
Boys stupid choice.
Yeah.
Oh
so
man.
But I think it was probably like really insightful for him.
Yeah, no, so now he doesn't do it again and freak out other people.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. So yeah, that's definitely, I would call that a disaster date.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, we didn't go on another one.
No? All right. So how tall are you, Barclay?
I'm 5 foot nothing.
5 foot nothing.
Yeah.
You're just 5 foot and there.
5'0",
Do you find some obstacles are easier for you and some are harder, or do you think your height plays any sort of level of difficulty?
It does.
It does.
I would say maybe not most, but a good percentage of obstacles I would say are harder.
Mm-hmm.
There are some that are easier too, though, like vertical limit and cliffhangers and stuff. As long as they're not reachy, I would say I probably have an advantage because I'm lighter.
I can see that. You're definitely you're super strong, but because you're only 5 foot nothing, you don't have that same mass.
Yeah.
And I think because your hands your hands look like they might be a little smaller too, that you might be able to actually get an extra pad up on that cliffhanger or get more wrap on that vertical limit.
Yeah. But the size of my hands also can not be good on some obstacles.
Yeah, so being small for cliffhanger and small ledges are good, but if you're trying to get a hand over some other obstacles, smaller hands.
Like
may
we were
not be
doing
what you want.
like the 4x4s over
Yep.
there. Yeah.
You can't just get your hand all the way around it like I can. That's right.
So the only way I can really combat my height issue and the reach issue is working on really dynamic, powerful movements. endurance, getting really good at laches and like being able to sprint so I can get up the wall and stuff like that.
And I would assume that your technique almost has to be perfect
It must
too,
be pretty flawless.
to make sure that like if you make a mistake, you have to have a lot of technique to make up for that. You can't just muscle through it and have this long wingspan like I have.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, but what about like jumping spider? Because I've seen you do the jumping spider, and you were actually the shortest person to ever hit the jumping spider. Is that correct? And you had one hand on and a couple fingertips on the other side, right?
Yeah, I think it was like this much of this hand was on the wall on my right hand side. If you watch the overhead, like the bird's eye view looking down, that's when you could see it.
Nice. So there were definitely obstacles out there. I would say I could see them being more challenging for you, and there are others that I would say that would be a little easier. I just didn't know how you felt. If you noticed that.
I think it's a 2-inch margin of error in the jumping spider.
That's very small.
Yeah.
I think I have probably like 1.5 feet between my long arms, and I'm actually kind of flexible when it comes to the legs in that position. So 2-inch. Yeah, you do have to be pretty much right on and be precise with your movements.
So I was off, and that's why I had to be like on my fingertips. That 2-inch margin of error was like here whenever I measured it out. So I wasn't even counting my fingertips.
Is there anything you do for that other than just be perfect on your jumps? Can you stretch a little bit?
I mean, I think I could practice just catching more on my legs, maybe. But even then, like, the main thing I need to do is like wait a little bit longer. I think to get
in the chute completely.
Yeah, because it's wider and then it goes in.
Right.
But even getting in further is hard for me because I'm so small.
You have more distance to travel.
Yeah.
All right, we got 2 more left here. This is actually a really good question. I like this from JAB. He asked, how was it to coach Nastia Lukin and Neo? And how much time did NBC give us to train with them?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I got like a few hours, like an afternoon, the day before we filmed.
Okay.
And she actually learned so much in those 2 hours.
Well, she's an Olympic gymnast.
Yeah, I know, but even so, like when we first started, she was really hesitant on some things because I was making her break her technique, and that was so hard for her.
I've noticed that with gymnasts, that it's really hard to break
it was
the
so
technique.
hard for me. Like, so making her like really, like for laches, she hated how it felt because it felt so wrong. She was like, I feel like my dad's gonna come yell at me. Like, it was so funny. But she was so awesome, and we're actually really good friends. We were texting today.
She went out to watch you in city qualifying.
Yeah.
She was out there on your sidelines.
That was amazing.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I actually got a chance to talk to her a little more because I talked to her and I helped her out a little bit on the course out in LA. And then I got to see her again and hang out with her. And she is really, really nice.
Thanks for being a part of that. Like,
yeah, I know, of course. I'm there making sure everyone's staying safe.
Yeah, I loved that you were a part of helping her get up the wall. You were like if y'all didn't see, he was sitting on my feet. I was hanging inverted over the wall, and Nastia ran up and grabbed my arms and we pulled her up.
Yeah, well, that's what Ninja's all about. Ninja's helping ninjas to overcome obstacles. I thought that was pretty cool. Neo, I had almost the same experience. I would say he picked up really quick. Like, at first, he was kind of like, this stuff is all crazy. And then after 15 minutes, he had let loose. He definitely was a little more open to trying things I was showing him. And he caught on really quick. And then he really surprised me when he was like, you can backflip, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he pulled a back tuck. And I'm like, let's do a back tuck together. So we did a back tuck together.
Oh, that's awesome.
He started hitting like 6-foot and 7-foot laches within a couple minutes.
Wow.
He did really well. But yes, I only had maybe 2.5 hours with him, and that was about 2 days before.
Okay.
And then I didn't see him again because he was actually filming Dancing with the Stars with Derek Hugh at the same time.
Is it Dancing with the Stars or
I'm sorry.
World of Dance?
World of Dance. He was filming World of Dance. And so we were like right next to the back studio set that they were filming that, right next to the course. So yeah, he was super busy, so only got a couple hours of training with him. I know some other people, like Akbar. Akbar's done a lot of training with Kevin. Like, they hang out a lot. I'm super jealous with that. All right, I have one last question for you, again from Deb. 6 we're gonna have very small for age. Oh, this is almost the same thing that I kind of went over with the height. So I'll read you the question. My 6-year-old granddaughter is very small for her age, and she has a physical challenge and gets teased a lot. She loves gymnastics and ninja, and apparently she thinks she's going to marry me. Sorry, April. What advice would you give her? So giving someone who's smaller, advice in gymnastics and ninja?
Well, I would just say like I was always really tiny. Like, can you imagine me when I was 6?
I imagine you at being about this tall your entire life. That's just.
I
can't imagine
tiny.
a 6-year-old Barclay.
Yeah, I was so little, and I got picked on all the time.
Really?
Actually, I should tell you some stories some other time.
Okay.
But yeah, I got picked on a lot, and especially by like boys, because I had like guns and stuff whenever I was like, I think I was like 4 when I started like developing like my shoulders and my biceps and stuff, and so little boys, even though I was smaller than them, they were so intimidated by me, and they tell me stuff like, you can't be stronger than me because you're a girl, and like stuff like that.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I bet. So that's the key, and that's why you are as strong as you are and good as you are, because people kept telling you
that I
no.
couldn't. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And also like I played outside a lot, and so I'd say like for like tiny people that want to do gymnastics, ninja, like me, like just work hard at it, and also like technique is so important, and have fun, because the more fun that you're having, the harder you'll work, and it won't feel like work, and then all of a sudden you're able to do things you never knew you could do.
Tonight training, it was all about like I felt like I needed to do this, and I wasn't having fun, I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
But once I started just playing around and having fun, I actually got warmed up, and I started doing stuff, and I got more training out of just having fun than I did going in there with the mindset to train and get stronger.
Yeah,
so definitely go in whatever you're doing and make sure you're having fun.
Yeah,
as long as you're having fun with it, yeah, you'll be great.
Yeah,
cool.
Absolutely.
I think that's pretty much it. I want to go grab some dinner. It's been a long day.
Let's
get
do
you
it.
fed. But is there anything that you want to say? Social media. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is Barclay Ninja.
Definitely follow her on Instagram.
Yeah.
Do you have a YouTube or no?
I don't have a YouTube, but I'm gonna start one pretty soon.
Cool.
I think I already created my profile. I need to double check, but I think it should just be at Barclay Stockett. I'm gonna start maybe doing some vlogs of my travel.
That would be cool.
So I'm
Since you travel everywhere all the time. She showed me a list today of all the places she's been for a month, and just for this month, it was like 9 different like states, countries, cities.
Yeah,
like it was
so
crazy. And then going all the way back to when was it? Like January. She's been all over the place. There's like a list this long of where she's been since the beginning of the year.
Crazy. So I think my first vlog I'm gonna try to do is from my trip to Alaska. 2 weeks
were you
ago.
out there with Nick? Was Grant out there too?
Grant wasn't there, but
cool.
Nick Hansen
Yep.
and I
Eskimo Ninja.
Yeah, we I went up in a plane, got to fly a plane, got to climb a mountain, and go inside of a glacier. And there was like avalanche warnings, and like it was like super dangerous. Awesome.
Don't do that. Don't do dangerous things.
But like I was with him, and he knew what to listen for. So it was like, and he already he gave me like a little training, almost like training tips, but for climbing a mountain. Mm-hmm. And I felt super safe being with him, but we also had to be really careful because it wasn't a super safe situation. But so that's probably what I'm gonna do my first vlog on.
I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm excited.
Absolutely.
And then Twitter and Facebook are both just at Barclay Stockett.
There you go. Find Barclay Stockett everywhere, all over social media. Please follow her, and I wish you luck in finals. Even though I already know what happened, they're gonna wish you luck too. And thank you very much for coming out. This was so cool. Me too. All right, guys. So this is only for Patreon. So tell your friends to hop on here, and I'll do this again with other ninjas. I'm pretty sure I got Flip coming out next week, so I'll let you know about that. And yeah, have a good night. Thanks a lot. Peace.